a public elementary school, allegedly waged a shame campaign against students who didn't believe in God. Now, according to a complaint filed on behalf of the family, who is identified as the Does, teachers at the Swainsboro Primary School in Swainsboro, Georgia, regularly led their classes in Christian prayer, a practice that violates the Constitution's First Amendment. Now, when the Doe parents complained that their children's kindergarten and first grade teachers were leading the class in unconstitutional prayers, their teachers allegedly told the Doe children to leave the classrooms and sit in the hallway while the rest of the class prayed. Now, there are two students here. One was in kindergarten and one was in first grade. In the kindergarten class, the teacher allegedly announced to the entire kindergarten class that Jamie Doe was not allowed to pray to God, and then told Jamie to wait in the hallway while the rest of the class prayed. So the parents removed the kindergartner from the school, but they let the first graders stay. He goes by the name Jesse Doe. But accordingly, the science teacher told Jesse to make a good decision about the unconstitutional prayers, but the pressure allegedly climaxed when Katrine Bright, Jesse's homeroom teacher, held the child back from recess to talk to Jesse about Bright's personal conception of the Christian God. And according to the complaint, Bright told Jesse that the child's mother is a bad person for not believing in God. The Freedom from Religion Foundation, which spearheaded the lawsuit, has released a statement. They said that under the terms of the agreement with the school district, teachers have received educational training on their obligations not to promote religious beliefs in their classrooms, and the Doe family has been financially compensated for the harm that they suffered. Now, obviously, they agreed to the settlement because this case wouldn't hold in court because they violated a constitutional amendment.
Right. So now let's break this down. First, this is the most obvious violation of the Constitution you could ever see, right? You're not supposed to establish a religion, and they're like, all right, now, you'll be praying to the Christian God. If not, you will go in the hallway. And it's because your mom is a bad person who does not believe in God. Right. All right, yeah, well, the Supreme Court ruled on that 50 years ago, and they're fairly clear on it. They're like, that's as much of an establishment of a religion as you can have. Mm-hmm. Okay. So they didn't stumble. But every once in a while, in fact, very frequently, different parts of the country decide, we're going to try it anyway, right? And that's why the Freedom from Religion Foundation is a great place, because it's their job to go, no, you're not allowed to do that. We are the defenders of America, okay? And we will stand up for American principles. You people are against American principles, and watch, we'll show you in court, right? Right. And then I would have loved to have been there in the room when they sat the educators down and explained to them what this country stands for. Right. Because there was an education of the educators that we do not run the country based on your particular religion, right? Right. That's not what this country was founded on. It is a secular nation. I'd love to be a fly on that wall as they were like, no, really? Oh, I didn't know that. Calling me surprised by that, right? Well, okay, guess what? Bad news for you. It's a secular country. We respect everyone's religion. So now, in terms of that particular part of it, right? So I'm agnostic. If they do this to my kid, well, there's a couple of different ways to go about it, right? Now, for religious folks, I have basically two categories, right? So I think the overwhelming majority of religious people are very good folks who don't believe in the Bible or the Quran, probably have never read it, right? Or the whatever it is, the Old Testament, Torah, Talmud, the Bhagavad Gita, whatever it is that's your particular religion. Right. And they think they want a little bit of hope from God, and they pray for good things to happen in their family. They're good folks, right? And I don't want to go and get in their face. And I don't want my kids getting in their face and telling their kids, hey, you know what, Jesus doesn't exist. Right. Take it elsewhere, buddy, right? But then there are a group of people that want to enforce it upon the rest of us, okay? I colloquially call them fundamentalists. Roughly, they're all in the fundamentalist camp. Well, that's where I'm going to draw the line, right? So in that case, I would want to tell my kid, they'd be like, oh, you guys are going to pray to your sky god again. Okay, good luck with that. By the way, there's no Santa, there's no Jesus, and tomorrow, you pray for something today, see if he shows up. I'll come back tomorrow, see if he did, and then drop the mic. Because I'm going to leave you alone if you leave us alone. But on the other hand, if you're going to try to get me shame my kid, you know, I don't know that I can get a kindergartner, I think that's or an elementary school student to say all that. But if not, maybe I come in and say it.
Yeah, you said you want to be a fly on the wall in the education. I want to be a fly on the wall in their teacher's lounge where like, oh, we're going to teach these kids the way and all of that kind of stuff. How scary is it that a science teacher is saying this to the children? That is really scary. And, you know, I think I agree with you that most religious people are great. Even if they do read the Bible or whatever, I think that's awesome. I think if that works for you, that's great. And I don't want to get in your face. But I do think it's very interesting that educators can feel okay kind of combining those two realms. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
the science teacher, come on, bro. Like,
come on, bro.
On. You're supposed to hold out.
But, you know, from their perspective, they really don't see what's wrong with it. They really think you're impinging upon their freedom. This happens in many different contexts. We've talked about it before. I mean, look, Kim Davis thinks, I used to be able to deny gay people marriage that I've given to myself 4 different times. And so that was my right. That was my right. My right is to deny your rights.
Right.
Now you've taken that ability away from me. And so this person probably thinks like, no, I used to be able to browbeat the kids into believing in my God. Now you're taking my right away from me. What, were you crazy?
No.
Right?
But even so, like, even if it had nothing to do with religion, the way that they're treating, I mean, 6 and 7-year-olds, can you imagine, let's say, as the school said, cursing's really bad. And the teacher said, hey, your dad curses a lot on the air. Your dad's a bad person. I mean, you would be like, why are you saying this to my 7-year-old? That's awful.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? That seems absurd that they would even think to talk like that to a child.
Yeah, in fact, I tell them, what the fuck were you thinking?